Us. What up? What up? I'm back. Back in this bitch. Back in this bitch. Want to get into a little Avengers in game. Probably one spoiler. It's not even that serious, honestly. The spoiler I'm gonna give, but I remember referring, and this might have it in here. This dude handed me some shit talking about we'll be punished. Let me get into it. Let me see real quick if I can find it in here. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. Go right now. No, I don't see it. But I was looking for when God was like talking to Adam and Eve and talking about y'all be punished for a certain amount of time. And basically he was like, y'all be punished for a certain thousands amount of years, like 4,000 or 5,000 years. And he was like, basically 4,000 years to y'all is only 5 years, 4 years to me. And that's exactly what happened in the quantum world. This nigga Ant-Man was gone for five years, and he only felt like he was gone for 5 hours. That's insane when you think about how much work that has been put in, or how much things that you went through in those 5 hours still equates. Trying to think how I want to say it. So say you went through 5 years, they went through 5 hours, but they still get all the different experiences that you went through in that same amount of time. So it's still equal type shit. It's a ratio, but it's still the same amount of work, if that makes sense. I wouldn't say ratio then. But fuck, man, I'm trying to think how to explain it. So okay, so say if you was a god and you was, super powerful, all powerful. It don't take you long to do certain things. Say if you want to eat, you just conjure up, I'm full. You don't even have to eat. But I'm just saying, it'd be funny. But I'm just saying, like, it don't take you long to, like, if you want to build a house, you snap and build a house. The process of the house being built still happen. You just happen faster because you're so powerful at it. Or just to say, like, if it was just one person versus many persons building the house, it's still the same amount of time. Like, it's still the same process that had to be put up. It's just gonna be done faster because the resources, the power behind it, versus if it's just one person. So look at a God as being, almighty in multiple hands. They can just quickly build certain shit. Like niggas stacking cups. Like niggas just cold with this shit. So what I'm trying to say is, when they go through 5 hours, they still going through the same amount of lessons and still learning the same amount of shit as your 5,000 years or your five years or whatever you want to call it, or if you want to refer it back to the movie. So in 5 hours, I still learned what you learned in 5 years. And that's possible still to this day without being a god. It's some person in this world walking around searching life and just not going about it the right way. And it's going to take them 5 years to get through a lesson, where one person to get through that shit in 5 hours just by watching a YouTube video and just eternally understanding that shit. Like, so even then, it's definitely possible. So even on our level, but to go even deeper, it's the same. You still have to learn about the same amount of shit. You still have to internalize the same amount of shit as that dude that took 5 years. It's just you did it better. You stacked it up, you shaped it, and put it in there, and it fit better. Other person was just throwing shit in the trunk, and eventually it wasn't enough to fit, so you got to retake everything out the trunk, then re-put it back in there. But I'm just saying, and that's how I kind of look at the quantum world. But even when you go into dreams and shit, like, bro, when you're dreaming, it feels like you're dreaming for days. It feels like you're dreaming for hours, and you wake up to tell you that, like, you wake up and people tell you that dreams only last 10 seconds. Dreams only last 13 seconds at max. So if that's the case, why don't it feel that way? Because it's you're in your more powerful self, so things are happening faster. Way faster. And it's really crazy if you really think about it, to the point where, nigga, you can go through 5 days in a dream world and it equates to what I said, 5 years in this world. Just being, like, I'm being facetious, I'm not being exact when I say that, but it's some type of determination where you can do more in this world because time is just different. It's like traveling into space, and when what's that one movie? They traveled into space. It's the movie with Matthew McConaughey. The world was ending. He had to go into interstellar or something like that. And when he leaves, when they talk about the quantum world of just time and this they didn't call it quantum world. It's time is relative. That's what they was getting into, I think, something like that. Relatively to time, whatever the fuck it's called. But for what happened is when they leave Earth, they travel these distant planets. When they're in space, they're already maintaining a different amount of age. Like, they're doing the same amount of shit as people on Earth, but they're not getting as old as the people on Earth. Why? Because the Earth is, going through their whole aging process while they're not on that. But they're still going through the same amount of time. Like, their time is the exact same as somebody on Earth, but the person on Earth is aging more. Why? Because Earth has this way to age things, period. You're going to get age being in this motherfucker. Versus if you in space, it's different. You don't have some of the same forces on you. So you technically have more power in a sense, or you have more time or space or whatever you want to call it to be free. And that's you get floating sensations. That's why you know gravity, because gravity low key kills us in a sense if you want to call it gravity. Now the flat Earth behind me, but whatever. I'm just saying I'm not getting into no arguments about flat Earth right now. But we'll just say gravity ages us. Time, which you only can, I'm not going to let's not use time because whatever, time is relative and it's a hard topic. But like I said, you in space, you're free. Just think of how you can float in space. You don't have different forces weighing you down, making your body age, making the world feel like just a ton of weight on you. Like, you don't have all those pressures at your joints and knees, on your bottom of your feet. You don't have all those pressures. Even when you pick some shit up, it's a lot lighter because you're not on Earth. You're not on this planetary force that got all these different forces and energies. Like I said, gravity or whatever. And so, yeah, it's the same shit. Or that's how you can kind of look at it. It's like going into the dream where you be freer, you can fly, you can do a lot more shit. And you get a lot more shit done in a different amount of time than if you was to come into this world and try to do those same amount of things. It'll take a lot longer to accomplish shit that you do in your dreams than versus in this reality. And that's my opinion. Of course, I believe I'm right, but yeah, that's the best way I can think of it, is just understanding that you can get more shit done in your dream world, and especially if you really tap in and dive into it. Hey, think about it. You go through 5 or 6 dreams, and you learn so much in them dreams versus you gotta go through a month before you learn a lesson from some shit that was been told to you. Like, you know how long, like, it's same shit for dreams can apply. You get a dream, and it take you a month to sometimes a year to decode that dream. But yeah, I'm just saying you can go through 5 or 6 different dreams, and if you're good at decoding your dreams, bro, you're beasting. Because really what it is you're going through those things, and then you're dissecting in this world, so it's reflecting and bouncing off, so you're just moving a lot faster, period. Versus you're merging both worlds, and that's gonna kind of get into this Hulk and Banner shit. But I guess I could say that you kind of merging the dream world and the waking world. You understand they both have importance, and once you start to bring them together, your time is just being utilized a lot better. Like I said, from in your dream world, you constantly doing work, constantly putting in dream work, and not just, lollygagging in your dreams, which is definitely possible. You actually breaking down barriers in your dreams. You actually getting past fears in your dreams. You actually accomplishing things that you usually was, you accomplishing things that used to hold you back. You're getting past things that used to hold you back in your dreams or shit, period. And in your waking life, you realize these things, and you start to apply and start to move differently after that. Or you choose to look into that world and be like, okay, what did I need to learn from that? Instead of just saying that's a random ass dream, that don't mean nothing. So now those worlds are separated, and there's no real connection, there's no real harmony, there's no real synchronicity that you can understand from it, because you think it's so random. Have no real meaning and shit like that. Oh, that was just a crazy dream. It's nothing I could have learned from that. Bullshit. But yeah, once you start to merge them two worlds together, here goes my segue. You get that demons and angels together, just like Banner and Hulk, bro. And I'm gonna say demons and angels because you can look at Hulk as being a fucking demon. Of course, we look at him as a superhero, but let's not do that. Let's look at Hulk as being a fucking beast that he is, the savage that he is, and destructive that he is, the animalistic, that's what Hulk is. David Banner would be I keep saying David Banner. Bruce Banner, which same shit, will be the God box, the higher self, the person that's truly controlling Hulk, because he's just truly controlling Hulk. If you really dissect it, it's always that nobody really understand what was the dynamic between Hulk and Banner. People always thought Banner was controlling Hulk or Hulk was controlling Banner, but you could kind of say it was a mix of both at certain times, but at the end of the day, even what Hulk was doing, it reflect off what Banner thought process kind of was. Because even Banner would say he's always angry in a sense. But once you get to Ragnarok, like when you I guess when you watch Ultron and the movie before that, it's kind of hard to say who was in control. But once you get to Ragnarok, you could kind of see when Hulk was Hulk all the time, he started to resemble Banner still. And then now them niggas is completely they look completely alike. It's like them niggas in a relationship. They look alike now, you know, because I talk about how when people auras mention shit. Now Hulk and Banner, even though they merged, it's not just I'm Hulk or it's not just I'm Banner. Like you can see both of us in me type shit. Or you can see both of us in this one entity type shit. It's not one person taking up more time, the other person taking up more time. And that was a battle that they had in Ragnarok. Who was gonna get more time? Who was gonna? He was like, if Banner was scared for the Hulk to come out, because he was like, if the Hulk come out, I might never come out again. Banner was like, I don't ever want to be. Hulk was like, I don't ever want to be Banner again, because Banner come out, I might not be able to be Hulk again, which is not necessarily true, because all Banner gotta do is get hurt or some shit and Hulk coming out. But he can do his best to suppress him. That's what Hulk problem was. He wasn't trying to be suppressed. He wanted to be free and all the other shit. So once they finally merged and came together, bro, they became a god, bro. And that's the same shit. Stop separating your lower self, your higher self. Stop separating your good self and your bad self. All of it's the fucking same. Once you truly understand how you can't be good without going through the bad. You can't have bad without understanding that there's good. Like you can't have one or the other, and that's gonna even tie into my other fucking shit later. I don't know if how good it's gonna tie in, but it might tie in. We'll see. Let me not get so excited. But yeah, bro, you gotta have both. Like without one, there's not another. Like period. Like. And then people forget that. That's polarity, period. I finally can say that word. But negative, you can't have a negative without a positive. You can't have a positive without a negative. Without that, there's no magnet. With no magnetism, no attraction. So, y'all understand there has to be a negative side and a positive side. And when they're working together, the things that they attract can be technically endless. Or the things they get attracted to is technically endless. Especially when the magnet is always polarized or magnetized, or whatever the fuck that word is. But yeah, that's my little spiel on Banner and Hulk, bro. Understanding you bring all yourselves together, being that holistic person, stop going to war with yourself. At a certain point, I mean, you have to go through those. And that's another thing I want to talk about. For me, when I'm speaking on this channel, like I'm gonna speak from many perspectives. It could be my lower perspective, be my higher perspective. Be in the middle somewhere. It just depends on what I'm going through and what I'm trying to achieve and what I'm trying to get through. So when I talk about peace and shit like that, that's because I'm at peace with myself right now. But 6 months ago, I was at war with parts of myself. A year ago, I was at war with parts of myself because I had to conquer certain areas of myself that had been taken away from me. I had to go back and reclaim certain shit. So I had to go back and recolonize the shit that was taken away from me inside of my own space and self. So that's what I had to do. Now that I got my land back, we don't have to keep going to war with each other. So it just like I don't want it, because this is what happens in the spiritual world, period. Twitter world, like just because you're going through this shit or just because you're at this phase of your life, you expect everybody else to be at that phase of their life. No, just because you're all peaceful and all knowing and all this shit now, don't mean that you was like that 10 months ago. You was ignorant and all the other shit. You probably still, I'm just saying, whatever. Let me not get off point. Let me not get emotional when I get into this bag. But it happens so much that we are these things, so now we expect that you can't act like this or you can't move like that. No, it's a season for everything. And just because you're in this season, just because you're in summer, that don't mean you shouldn't be understanding the person that's in winter. Like, we all summertime over here, we all shining over here. But nigga, you had to go through your winter to get to the shine. Like, you had to. So don't knock somebody else. No. And that's the thing. I try to speak, like I said, I try to speak on a holistic perspective. Of course, I'm going to speak to what I'm going through. But when like I say, nigga, you need fear. You need, not fear. If you need anger, if you need hatred, like, yeah, be able to use that shit. I'm not necessarily using it right now. And I don't need it right now. But if I see somebody using that shit, I best believe I understand why they're using that shit. I'm not going to judge them and tell them, oh, that's not the right way to move. You need to be all peaceful and shit. Because, no, it's a fucking process. Like, you can't know peace until you technically know war and really know what's really going against you. Once you figure out what's going against you, you can start to solve and start to figure out and piece together the things that will go for you. Like, I mean, that's how, I mean, I've been going through life. Maybe if other people have the luxury not to go through life that way, but I haven't. At least not all the time, bro. I had to go through the